Hi, my name is Bonnie McGuire. I go by she, her pronouns. I live in the Oklahoma City metro area, and I have been with Dell for 9 wonderful years. In my day job, I am an instructional designer, which basically means I do video production work for Dell's virtual conferences and create e-learning content for our sales teams. My work for Pride, I am currently the global creative lead working on this video series, which I hope will help introduce our new Pride members to Pride structure and leadership. I initially got involved with Pride within our Oklahoma City chapter. I was already really passionate in keeping track of LGBTQ legislation that was passing through the state of Oklahoma's legislature. And I basically just made up a role and said, could you all use a political consultant kind of role that could keep you attuned to what's going on in the state legislature? And they jumped at the opportunity. And so that became kind of my stepping stone into the ERG. So currently, I just took over a new role within Pride where I, again, kind of made up a role, saw the need, made up the role. That's a tip, pro tip for you, as creative lead. My favorite Pride event ever would have to be our lobby days. If you've never got the opportunity to go to one of the Pride lobby days, we've had them in Austin, Nashville, and of course Oklahoma City. These things are amazing. Now, we haven't been able to do them lately because of COVID, but I'm hoping that next year especially we're going to be back in the office and back able to do these on-site events. And lobby days is where we get all of our members together, we go to the state capitol, and we lobby with our legislators, talk to our House members and our senators about LGBTQ legislation. I have such an extensive network that is not just within the walls of Oklahoma City, it's not just within the business unit of sales, it spans all business units. It spans not just all sites within North America now, but globally. I have a global network now, and that's because of Pride. If you can't already tell from what you see behind me, I have a little bit of a plant addiction. I think I have I'm down to about 75 the last time I checked, down from about 400 at the height of my addiction. But we're at a good point now, so usually on the weekends you're gonna find me taking care of my plants. It's a lot of work. One thing that I am scared of is trees. I've been scared of trees since I was a little kid, and it all kind of goes back to those old 80s movies, which I'm a child of the 80s, and so Poltergeist, Snow White, which obviously is much older than the 80s, but there was a few others where there were like mean trees and bad trees eating people. Like, I just don't care for trees. I do claim to be probably one of the only tree huggers who's actually scared of trees. One of my big heroes is Jonas Salk. Jonas Salk created the polio vaccine. And when they asked Jonas if he would patent it, he said, "You can't patent the sun." And because he meant that it belonged to everybody. It wasn't anybody's to patent. And that vaccine ended up saving countless lives and really changing the course of our country for the better. And so Jonas Salk, definitely Wikipedia, check him out. So one thing that people may find surprising about me is that I have both my GED and my MBA. And so I went through a rough patch in high school, as many of us do. I ended up dropping out of high school and eventually went on to get my GED. It took me about 10 years to get through college, but I eventually got a master's in business administration with an emphasis in healthcare administration. And I still think about all that organic chemistry and biochemistry and everything that I struggled through that I'm obviously not using now. My name is Bonnie, and I am Pride.